We've got the usual ones that we have, the Priest Trophy, the Tan World Trophy, the Could Have Been a Better Day Award, the Fast Forward Trophy, the Brian Griffin Competition Trophy, whose answer there. And we have some special awards that we give out to people who don't quite fit into those categories. So what I'd really like to do is start with those special awards. And the first one is going to go to a person who can't be with us today, unfortunately. But he's been endless source of help and information to the MGF register throughout this year. Working at MG Motor, which you know who I'm talking about, is Ian Hodgson. He's a good friend to the register, has done an awful lot for us, has shown various of our groups around Longbridge, all in his own time almost really. He's come out to other groups and given talks, as I'm sure you will see Hodgson lecture at some stage or other. So we really want to recognise Ian. He was going to be here today. Unfortunately they sent him to China last weekend. Better than being sent a commentary, I suppose. But unfortunately, unfortunately he is in China, so he can't be with us today. Do accept that on his behalf. So if you hand that one to Ian, then we can take a photograph. Need a photograph. Accepting that on behalf of Ian, the special. Right, the second award is for someone who can't be with us. It didn't go to plan, did it? Never mind.
We'll do it anyway.
We'll do it anyway. He's offered his services above and beyond the call of duty, really, to the MGF register. He's kept a very tight rein on our expenses. He's created new accounting systems for the club. He's stayed on a year after standing down as treasurer, which we thank him for enormously, but we do have Martin here, who hopefully is going to be taken over shortly. John Tully, of course I'm talking about, he's done a brilliant job, and he really does deserve a special award this year. So, John Tully, thank you very much. Someone might be in the room. This time, hurrah! This person was a strong contender for the Priest Trophy this year, which is a significant contribution to the register. We almost had double winners, but there was a little spate of nominations that came in fairly late, and someone else just picked him at the post in those nominations. However, this person has made a major contribution to the MGF register this year, particularly in the organisation of MGF 15, where he took on the thorny mantle of the trade liaison in somewhat difficult circumstances that we found ourselves in earlier this year to actually get that event on. Did a fantastic job, we're very grateful for that. He knows who it is now. He's giving me one of those evil stares. But not only has he done all that effort for the register, he's part of the events team, and he took custodianship of the online shop as well, and John tells me that sales have increased by 133% this year, which is very good. So Keith, you do deserve a special step forward. On the Canterbury event this year, as one of our members fell, Mr. Ken Beresford, and dislocated his shoulder. This left a problem for how Ken and his wife Jeanette would actually get back to the UK from Belgium, as he could no longer drive the car, and Jeanette was unhappy about driving both in the dark and on the continent as well. So step forward, Neil and Barbara. Neil drove Ken back in Ken's car, and Barbara drove Jeanette back in her car, all the way back to Peterborough, out of their way. So splendid effort, shows the great mark of friendship with the MGF fraternity. So thank you very much, Neil and Barbara. We'll move on to the permanent trophies that we have. So I'm going to start off with, what am I going to start with? The Fast Forward trophy. Ian is studying in great detail there.
You see which bits in it car are missing?
I think you might find there are some bits in the boot in that one, because the aerials and the wing mirrors always fall. This is the Fast Forward Award. It's awarded to the person who's written the best article or articles in Fast Forward magazine, designed to encourage you all to write articles and then to vote at the end of the year which your favourite is. Now we did have quite a few votes this year. Several nominations did come in. Paul Bridgman's Bigfoot article was one that got a few votes. Damien's Swiss Strip one got a few votes as well. Well done, Damien. The Foo Fighters piece we did earlier, which was researched by Rob Bell and Andrew Phillips and himself, of course. That got a vote as well. However, by far the most nominations that did come to win went to a previous winner. I think you probably know that, because you only had 2 winners of this so far. First one was Rob Bell, and this year is Rob Bell again for his series of Project Shed articles, which are never ending by the look of it. Having seen the Shed at Galen this year, could be another year, could be winning it next year as well, I think. But they're very well written, they're informative, humorous as well, and I think that's a great quality of his writing. So, Rob Bell! Right, moving on to the Brian Griffin Competition Trophy. This year we had a couple of nominations. Paul Lucci was one. His MG TFLE 500 has shown that the ZRs can be beaten at their own game. As they can. And another nomination came in for John McGovern, who is Australian. He's the Australian 2010 MG Car Club Victoria champion in his nearly standard MG TF 160 Spark. By far, again, the most nominations went this year to the Class D Trophy champion winner, who is sitting in the corner and probably can't hear me. David, where are you? But he also writes articles for Fast Forward magazine, being in Safety Park and NAGCON as well, and he writes his own blog on the Church Square Auto site, which includes videos of him occasionally spinning round and round. I'm sure he's not supposed to, but they're most amusing when he does. Right, the next one is the It Could Have Been a Better Day award, which is made out of my own blown head gasket. Carefully polished. However, the award does go to someone who turned up earlier this year at his friend's house in Essex, the night before planning to drive from Essex to Geneva in his Steptronic MGF. Which promptly failed to go or move at all because the gearbox had gone immediately on the night before driving to Geneva, which I think is pretty unlucky. And then he had all the problem of trying to get it fixed afterwards as well. So Dave Curley, I think it could have been a better day. Well done for bringing it down.
Just to add a postscript, I've currently got a cracked cylinder.
Oh, you're not going in for next year's award already. Yeah? It goes to a person who's thrown himself fully into the MGF register activities in a fairly short space of time, really. Became a regional rep, organising regular monthly meetings and revitalising his own region. Also became involved in organising and coordinating main register events for 2010 as part of our events team. Also instrumental in the organisation of MGF 15 this year, which was, as you've heard already, was not a particularly easy task. And he's also taken the register to lead our support for the Racing Red MGF of David at the various MG Car Club race meetings around the country. Which is pretty good. But he's also carried out some research and made all the arrangements and compiled one of the best souvenir route books I've ever seen for the Register's historic reenactment of the Abington Geneva run back in March, which was already mentioned. So John, on your own, you are... Right, that brings us on to the last award of the night, which is the Tanswell Trophy for the Member of the Year. Now this goes to a couple who have been enthusiastic attendees at MGF Register events both at home and in Europe. This year they took a further step forward in their role as regional reps as well, and organised one of the Register's main weekend events in an area of the country that we don't normally visit, in the Wirral, and we certainly know where the Wirral is now, and I think Simon's probably looking surprised in the corner. Because this year, the award for Member of the Year goes to Simon and Julie Davis. I'll hand over to Ian Forrest. Thank you very much.
Just a word to say thank you for inviting me along. And without people who volunteer to do this sort of work, the club, there are two sets of people I want to say thank you to. It's the people who are in the eye of the club, the people who volunteer like yourselves to keep it running, and the staff at Kimber House, without whom there would be no club. So well done all of you.
Anniversary. It's a significant event in the MGF world. I'd like to propose a toast initially to the MGF. So, to the MGF. Yeah. Cheers! Cheers! And I'd like to propose a toast to the MGF Register, because they're 15 years old as well. So, to the MGF Register.